Hi! I want to do this video about energy. Could you imagine? That's what I always like to talk about. That's what everything is. That's what we are, and that's what everything is around us, is energy. So are you being weighed down by these dense, low vibrational energies? 3D energy, which is real. The third dimension is here. I'm real. I'm very dense. I'm, a body, and all of the things around me that I see are very dense and are things created from a dense energy, from density. And really, I'm just wanting to help people not conceptualize, but embody, not just conceptualize what a higher frequency is, kind of lifting out of the density, out of the third density. The duality of the 3D is the 5D, and we live in a duality. So are we connecting to the fifth dimension? Are we lifting ourselves up into a lighter and brighter place within our own lives? We create our own lives. We create our own reality. But unfortunately, our lives and our reality has been created based on programming, based on subconscious programming, which was established by the time we were 5 years old. That's how the human brain works. It is scientifically proven that the human brain functions off of 95% of subconscious programs. So how do we come to terms with that? How do we realize that? And how do we start unraveling those programs and seeing what they really are? Just see what they really are. How do we see what they really are? It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of inner work and consistency and discipline and perseverance to get through these patterns and programs. And these patterns and programs have not desensitized us, but have made us kind of weak, because we don't really want to connect with real things that are happening. And then we want to blame those real things on other people or other things because they're typically dark. And we've been programmed just to kind of live in this illusion of light, and that there's light everywhere, and that there's no dark here, or that even the dark within us, we've bypassed it our whole lives. We're like, how can I get around this? How can I get around this? Well, the time has come finally for us to walk through that dark tunnel, walk through those dark shadows of our own lives, of our own ancestral karma, so that we can break that wheel of karmic. It's called the karmic wheel of debt. And we need to serve that debt for our ancestors. And if we don't, it's okay. You're just going to have to come back and do it again next life or next time, or it's just going to be harder down the road. If you do it in this lifetime, it's just going to be more difficult down the road, because every time it comes back and you bypass it, you're it's literally coming back in a more of a magnificent way to wake you up, to get you to notice, to get you to see it and do the work. It's like, and at some point, it's just, you're not going to be able to break through it, until maybe next life or something. So, when we talk about breaking this karmic wheel of debt, It's literally doing the work. How do we do the work? How do we know when to do the work? It's doing meditation. It's coming to the realization of the things that are being presented to you in your life are meant to be there for a purpose and a deeper purpose. Not just like this, oh yeah, that doesn't really mean anything, because everything means something and everything has a message. It's just whether or not we want to, connect with that truth. So another thing I really wanted to talk about was expectations and these low dense energies, and where do they reside? How do they make us so dense? How do we become so dense in this program? And it's these thoughts that we've been programmed with: expectations, judgment, anger, ego. It's all ego based. It's like, oh, me. And it's like you have to prove yourself or something to others, really to others and to society. Anger, violence, fear is such a huge one right now. Everyone's like afraid and they're pretending they're not afraid, but really what is happening is people are projecting their fear on others and saying, oh, well, you need to do this to make everyone else feel safe. And nobody makes anybody else feel safe except for themselves. You have to be safe within your own body, within your own mind, regardless of what other people do. If other people are triggering you and you're not feeling safe, or you're feeling angry or whatever, you have to ask yourself, why am I being triggered? Why am I feeling these things? It's not because of them. It's because of something that's happened in your life. It's because of how you've been programmed. So when those triggers come up, it's really evaluating yourself. How do I work through this? What does this mean, and how do I work through it? But expectation and judgment are really big ones, and they're ones that I've actually had to deal with in the last day, and I'm just like, wow. It's so wild just to see how people put themselves on such a pedestal and project their experiences onto others. And usually it's a dark, negative thing, something that challenges them, they're emotionally attached to. And then they set this expectation for you. It's like, well, you need to be like this, and this is what a good person is. And it's like, you don't know anything about my life. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know the work that I'm doing. You don't know my life experiences, whether they were in this moment or in the past. How can we set expectations of others when we don't even know anything about them? And they may have experienced a similar trauma as you, but their response could be completely different. Not can be, but is typically completely different. We all respond to traumas differently. And setting an expectation is like drawing a line for somebody. It's like drawing a line for yourself, drawing a line for other people. And when we create that line and we create that limitation, we're really not allowing ourselves to move freely in the way that we are supposed to move in this now moment on this earth plane. So next time you think of setting an expectation for yourself or for other people, just think of responsibility. That's a better vibration. That's a higher vibration. Take responsibility. So you know what? I'm responsible for showing up right now, but how I show up is how I'm supposed to show up, because maybe I'm going to learn a lesson. Maybe someone else is going to learn a lesson. Whatever it is, it's just showing up. That's it. That's all. That's the responsibility behind our life experiences, is just taking responsibility. And when we take responsibility for how we show up or when we show up and what that actually is or what that actually looks like, we let go of our ego. We become vulnerable in that moment, and we are walking through that moment through our heart center and just saying, this is just how I am. This is just how it happened. It wasn't intentional. I didn't intentionally want to hurt your feelings. I didn't intentionally insult you. However, you're responding to the way that I show up is your work. It's not my work. This is my true self. This is my authenticity. It's going on 11 minutes, so I am going to go now and just leave you with that. I love you all. Have a great one.